I'm guessing in 3 days time, this thing should be done. So day 3, I said the tow truck would be done in 3 days. Well, it's day 4, and the tow truck is far from being done. So issue number 1, not knowing that this is a cab and chassis truck, and our parts truck was a 1 ton, 3/4 ton. Our biggest issue was this frame is 1.5 inches wider and 3 inches taller than a 3/4 ton or a 1 ton. It's an old pickup, so it should all be carbon copy, come from the factory, whether it's 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. It'll have the holes, it'll have everything that you need, but because this is a cab and chassis truck, that wasn't the case. We had to slightly notch the frame a little bit so that there was room for the shackles to go back and forth. We had to build some new shackles. And then like any other project, man, you're into problems. The problem we ran into was on a 4-wheel drive, your motor mounts bolt in 2 spots on the top, and then they bolt to a cross member that comes through here. Now on a 2-wheel drive, you've got a arched member here that your coilovers, everything bolts to, and your motor mounts actually bolt to the center cross member. So we had to grind all the rivets off, take this cross member. So we've got to run the cross member off the 4-wheel drive and hang it through here. Some other issues we ran into was, well, when we pulled the truck apart, we thought, you know, we'll put a new flywheel, put a new clutch, and then we did a thrust bearing, we did a throw-up bearing, we did a rear main seal because we're there. There's a bunch of other issues from the original cross member for this truck. So like it says cab and chassis truck. So being a cab and chassis truck, this had a PTO winch, and because of the PTO winch and the way things were set up with the cross member for the little drive liner on the PTO, it was bolted to the top of the frame instead of the bottom like normal. So we had to rob all of that, of course, to run over here. So basically where we're at now is we're going to stab the T-case and transmission today. That way we can put the cross member in, so we can lift this motor, put in the new motor mounts and this cross member, so that's done. And then we're at any point in time, we're at the point where we can put the rear end in. It's ready to go. It's a Kingpin Dana 60, Dana 60 rear, and then I don't think we ran into any other major issues besides that. Oh, we had to swap bell housings. So this bell housing, I thought really hard about running the hydraulic clutch just for you know, the smoothness, and then being able to push the clutch easier, just because these old pickups with the spring, you know, it's stiff, it's hard. And then I had an epiphany. I'm like, you know, it's way more trail friendly and reliable for us to go with the old style and stay with the spring. You know, yeah, it's a little harder to push, but it's going to be way more reliable. You know, if I have a leak or something, it's not going to become a problem. My clutch isn't going to stop working. So we swapped that as well. And then all the drive lines out of our donor truck should match up perfectly for that. And then hopefully Friday, I know I said 3 days, but hopefully Friday, this thing's sitting on the ground. Wheels and tires. Oh, we also decided that you know, it's rough country. It's the Harbor Freight of the lift world, in my opinion. I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but if you look at this spring pack and you come over here and you look at some of these, so this is off of the donor truck, and these big packs are off of the truck itself. Significantly bigger, heavier duty leafs. So with this, we are going to run an airbag. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. If we run the airbag system, it's going to make it to where because I mean it's not a horrible idea that this is going to be soft. So if we take the air out of the bags and it's empty and we're trying to get into somewhere nasty that someone's broke down, it'll have some good flex. It'll be a smoother ride, won't be so rough. And then as we get a hold of the Jeep or whatever we're picking up, we'll be able to have air in the bags. It's got a remote, hell, it runs off an app, and then we can just air the bags up and make the difference up there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Friday this thing is setting on its new wheels and tires, and start driving this thing for a while to try to work out any of the other bugs it might have, and then start moving on to the bed, the winches, and a few things we want to address there. So, and then another thing, we don't know what you guys like to watch. So if you guys like the breakdown and kind of how this stuff works, and maybe you'd like to see some of the other projects in the shop and how we fix them and what we address, would love to know. Or if you're just there for you want to be a part and watch the rock crawling and the carnage, you know, that's always great too. So anyway, let us know what you want to watch.
Like, comment, and subscribe.